Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. This is a Smash Our Stash collaboration. It's a collaboration I host that just encourages us to use up or complete items in our stash. This is a hashtag driven collaboration, so there'll be a hashtag in the title above as well as in the description below that you can click on and see everyone who's participating in the collaboration this month. If for some reason the hashtag is giving you some wonky results, there should be an option for you at the top of your search screen to refine to hashtag search only or something like that, and then that will kind of clean up the list of videos that are available. And then you can also use that hashtag across other social media to see everyone who's participating elsewhere. This month's prompt was unfinished projects, works in progress, anything along those lines. So I tend to have bins of things that, like, I'll stick it in here and I'll finish it later. And in the past, it was like multiple bins here and there, things tucked wherever. So this year I tried to get a little bit more organized about it so that I wouldn't like lose the projects. And I also found this projects to complete. I don't remember if I found it on Pinterest or Canva, like as just a free printable template. I think I may have found it on Pinterest, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look and find it. But it was a free printable, and it's just projects to complete. And so I write in my project, I give myself a deadline, and then it's got an option for items required to finish project and tasks to do to finish project. So this may seem a little over the top, but I'm hoping what it will do in the future. I filled all this out based on projects that were already in here at the beginning of the year. I'm hoping that going forward, having to fill this out, like to just add an embellishment to finish off a project or add holes and binder rings to finish off an album, that it will prevent me from even putting anything in here undone, that I will just do those simple tasks, get it done, and be able to put it away. So that's what I'm hoping, that these forms will kind of prevent me from putting like mostly completed items in here to finish later. So I went through this bin last month and I started with the easy project. So I'm going to scoot this out of the way a little bit. Because like I said, one of the items was add holes and binder rings to album. Well, this album was completely done. I think I did it a year ago, probably spring last year. It's a chipboard album, and all I had to do was punch the holes. So it took me, I would say, maybe 10 minutes tops, because I also added the ribbon and I had to hunt for the binder rings. But it's just a simple step of punching the holes in all the pages. So done. The first item on this page was wine tags, where I had cut some wine tags out of paper from a pad that I had used up last year sometime, and I just needed to figure out how to decorate it. Now these wine tags I have pictures of, but I have already put them in my stash for the farmers market and craft show that's coming up later this week. So I don't have them. I forgot to keep them out to show you, but again, super simple. All I had to do was just embellish the tag. Done. The other quick and easy one I started with was, I had these two 6x6 cards again that I made last year, over a year ago. They're the little photo album type cards, the 6x6. All I needed were envelopes. So I found some rose pattern paper in my stash just to go with the roses that were part of the patterns on the card, and turned it inside out and used my envelope punch board to help me create some envelopes. Again, super simple. Why I couldn't have done these things at the time rather than throw them in the bin, I don't know. I think those were the easiest. Oh, I guess the other easy one was I had on my list for these gratitude journals, I had put to finish embellishing the pages, create extra embellishments, and then add a title. I kind of decided against, I felt like the pages were pretty embellished. And I decided against creating any extra embellishments because I was struggling to find any paper left that kind of coordinated with the colors. And I know I can still go through and tuck some things in, and I may still at some point, but right now I think I'm going to call these done. I did add a title. I used some vinyl, scrap vinyl from my stash that says Thankful and Blessed, and I'm just going to call those done, because I'm not really sure what else to add for embellishments on those particular journals. So there were a couple big projects in here that I made a lot of progress on but did not finish. So last month or the month before, when the prompt for the Smash Our Stash collaboration was scraps, I went through and created a ton of bookmarks. So whether it was taking thicker, cardstock and just trimming it down to a bookmark, or whether it was gluing the paper onto some scrap chipboard and trimming those down after they, had dried together, I had a ton of bookmarks. So here's like 2 bags. So I went through, we went to Missouri this past weekend. So it's a 7-hour drive. So probably about 8 hours in the car, with stops. And so I did drive part of the way, but I figured something that would be easy to do in the time I wasn't driving would be to work on these bookmarks. I didn't get to work on them much on the way there for some reason, but on the way back, before we left, I did get some of the ones that I had trimmed down, but I did get some corners rounded and holes punched, but I didn't get to them all. And then those that I was able to round the corners and punch the holes in, I tried to add the tassels. So I only took 2 things of yarn with me. It was like partial black and a partial roll of white. Roll of yarn, skein of yarn. I don't know the terminology. So the night before we left Missouri, I had a little bit of free time. So I went through and took the black and the white and just cut a bunch of long pieces of yarn. And then that way in the car, all I had to do was tie the tassels on. So some of them I was able to kind of trim up when I got home, but these I still need to go and trim up the edges. So these are the ones that are done. And then these are the ones that are still in some stage of incomplete. We have farmers markets this month. We have 2 craft shows. So this might be something that is good that I can do in some downtime there to finish these off. So hopefully after this month, these will be out of the bin because they take up a lot of room. And I just wanted to thank Letty from Party Planner Papery. She was the one who gave me the idea of saving the bookmarks until this month to finish them off because I didn't have time, but the month I made them anyway. So then the last project is a biggie. Last fall, I had gone through my stash and I had found a couple of partial paper pads. A Christmas one from Craft Smart, and then a Christmas one from Recollections. I think I had used this maybe in July, for Christmas in July, and had determined that I was going to use it up. By the end of the year, I didn't quite get there, but it's pretty much used up now. And I had also pulled in, so I had papers from these 2 pads. I had papers left. This was the Christmas delivery collection from Cartabella. I had some papers and embellishments left from that. And then I think I even pulled in some other random papers that I noticed when I was going through the journals. But I had decided that a really quick way to use up these pads was just to make some December Daily Christmas journals. So last fall, I started the process, but never got to finish them. I had cut down all of my pages and pulled out some things that I also thought I wanted to put in there. Like I had some vellum and some graph paper, things like that that I normally throw in the journals. And I went through and I had all the pages trimmed down. I just didn't have them like finished. I didn't have them all folded or, you know, embellished. And I had the covers laminated already, but obviously nothing was attached. So there was a lot of work that still needed to be done to the journals. And so what I did, and I'm still not done, I still need to sew them, but they're going to be a beast to sew at this point because they are very chunky. And I'm not sure if I'm going to sell these or keep these as December dailies for myself and my daughters. But I went through, embellished the pages, added pockets, and I had also already made some pocket type embellishments last fall, trying to use up some of the scraps. But I just went through all of the little scraps that were left, and the big scraps really, and used them to decorate the pages. So I don't have, you can see this, I don't have a ton of scraps left. There's a few strips that were left from when I cut down the pages. And then, I mean, there was a pretty good stack of like tiny scraps. And I did use up a bunch of those decorating up the journal. So as far as I'm concerned, the journals are decorated. The only thing I need to do to the physical journal is sew and then add my band. Now I may come back. I want to, usually if I do December dailies, I also print out numbers, you know, for the days of the month. And so what I may do, like I'll add those. Probably I'm not going to adhere them in. I like to do that or save that, you know, for whoever's using it to add them where they need to, in case you have more than, you know, 2 pages for a day or something like that. But I will probably use some of the scraps that are left to just create some little embellishments that can be added when the journal's being used. So these 2 big boys are pretty much done. And then I had also already started some kits last fall with the scraps. See, again, me with the Post-it notes. I'm saying card kits, just add a 4 by 5 1/4 matte in red or green. Include a different pattern strip and a sentiment circle. And I even drew myself a really ugly little sketch. So I had all of these patterned pieces already cut down, and these were what was left after trimming down some of the pages. And so I went through, cut cardstock mats per my instructions, and then I even did strips. So the only thing I need to do is do sentiments, and then this batch for a card kit is done. And then I also had some other card mats already cut, and so I went through some of the cut aparts that I had left from the various collections and pads, and that's why I think that there was another collection in here somewhere, because this was not from the Cardabella collection or the pads. But I just took some of these 4 by 4 pieces and some of the card mats, and then considering that another kit. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these kits, if it's something that I'm going to use or donate or try and sell. I haven't gotten that far yet. But at this point, I was just trying to finish off my thought process from last fall. Oh, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That was the 4th collection. So I finished off 2 collections and 2 pads with all these projects. So I've got some card kits and the journals, and then I still have some embellishments. I have some card mats left. So at some point, I will finish off the rest of this with cards. But my intention last fall was to try and, I was originally going to just try and use up this pad, but I wanted to incorporate some thicker papers. So I ended up bringing in all of these. So did I finish everything that was on my project to complete forms? No. There's one I didn't even get to, and that was a bourbon distillery journal that I started for myself probably in 2020. It was towards the beginning of the pandemic when everything shut down. So I did not get to, I wasn't going to try and finish that, but I had at least wanted to work on it. I don't even think I've gotten to work on it much since I started it. So that is the only thing that's on here that I didn't get to at all. I just need to sew the December dailies, and those are done, and finish the bookmarks, and those are done. And like I said, I'm hoping that by taking the time to fill out this form, that it will make me think hard about, there's only one step left this project, can I not just finish it and be done, instead of thinking, okay, I'll finish this next week and toss it in a bin, and then I don't pull it out for another 2 years. That is my project, my projects for finishing off unfinished projects, works in progress. Please be sure to check out the hashtag to see everybody who participated, what kind of projects they finished. Hopefully everybody got a lot of stuff done this past month. Thank you guys so very much for your time, and hope you all have a very crafty day.